raindrops they bow to the ghostly howls. The truth prevails and justice clangs, but the past it looms like a gallows hang. And I found a little hope from my heart in the land and the people who are living life with their God-given flaws, simple dreams in the face of the fall, in the face of the fall, in the face of the fall.
So we will still silicone around this hardware a little bit, just so water is not seeping between this piece of hardware and the roof and getting in that hole. Since the screw is not directly to the roof, that gasket isn't sealing the hole. So we'll put a little silicone around that, and then we'll also silicone all of this off the storm collar, and then we're good. That's it. The chimney is officially done. I had a few comments last week about how it wasn't high enough. Last week I had only installed it enough to get it on the roof and get the part that was through the ceiling done and through the roof, so I just wanted that done. But now we are officially done, so we are more than 2 foot. That's what code requires, that the top is more than 2 foot from 10 feet, which our peak is within 10 feet, so I got to be 2 foot higher than the peak, which we are. We're about 2 foot 24 inches. We're actually about 33 inches, I believe, if I did the math. I didn't measure it, but just based on the math, that's what it should be. But obviously, by looking at it, is more than 2 feet, so we're good to go. The boot is good and sealed. It has rained now about 8 days. I'm sorry, it's been 8 days since I put it on, and it rained 6 of those 8 days. And we had 0 leaks, so I know we're good with that. The storm collar is another added protection to keep water from hitting the boot. Kind of veers it off so it's not dripping down right where the boot meets, because there's no caulking or anything right around that. I don't know if that should be lower or not, that storm collar. If I was in a non-snow area, I'd bring that down almost all the way till it was just a few inches off the roof. But since we have so much snow here, I don't want to have it low enough that it impedes the snow sliding off, which is another thing that somebody mentioned, was a snow diverter. And I did look into those. The company that the fire and flue company here advised me I don't need one because I'm within 6 feet of the peak. I'm actually from the edge up to the peak, I think it's right around 4 feet. I thought it was less than that, but it's right around 4 feet. If I put the snow diverter on, it's 2 feet in length itself, so it really wouldn't be doing anything, honestly. And with this pitch and with the metal roof, the snow should be basically coming off of here all the time anyways. It shouldn't be building up heavy, so we're not going to worry about the snow diverter. We do have the brackets holding the pipe in on the roof and the bracing. Generally, I've seen people do one or the other. I have both in. If I was way down at the bottom of the roof with a lot of snow coming down at it, I would probably put that on, but I'm not going to. I did actually buy it. There's a company here in town that makes them, and they're pretty expensive. And I found a guy that makes really good aluminum ones, really thick gauge, and they were only $120. A lot of times I've seen them, they've been as much as $200, and they're not as nice. So I did buy it just in case I needed it, with the thought that on the next house I'm definitely going to need it. So by the time I build that house, that could be 2 years before I'm installing that. They'll probably be twice as much, so might as well buy it now and just have it. So we are done on the roof now. There should be no more reason to get up here other than I'm going to climb back up here to silicone that off. I'm going to do that off camera. But there's no reason to get back up here until next spring when we got to clean the chimney, and we'll show that too. What we're doing right now is we're going to put some blocking in. We have not decided exactly how the bathroom's going to go. It's in this back part of the building. There's going to be a compost toilet in this corner and a shower in this corner. We're actually pulling the shower out of the shed and bringing it over. But what we haven't decided is how to enclose it, wall it in, how private to have certain aspects of it. So we know we are for sure where the compost toilet is. This is going to have what's called a water closet. So it's basically the toilet in its own small room. And my idea was to have the shower be open to the whole cabin. It's just the two of us in here. This is not big enough to have guests or anybody over here, so I don't know why we wouldn't want to do that. But Eleinne likes hot showers. And Eleinne mentioned it because of the amount of steam coming off the shower. She didn't want it opened up. She wanted that enclosed so it stayed kind of on its own side, and then wanted me to vent that. I think she's right, so we're probably gonna have to do that. That does make sense. So we're gonna build a wall that comes across, and for that wall to be there, I need somewhere to nail it off to. So I know that wall is gonna be about right here, approximately, somewhere within this area. So I gotta put some blocks across here so that when I put that wall in, I have somewhere to nail that wall to, and then also when I finish the walls off, I have blocking to nail drywall or paneling or whatever we decide to finish these walls off with. I could have something there for the nailing off on that. So every 2 feet, we'll put blocking in. We don't have to do the bottom and the top because we have a bottom plate and a top plate, but at 2, 4, and 6 foot, I gotta put blocking. And then the same concept across the top here. So all across this bay, every 2 feet, I gotta put blocking. Okay, so now you can see there is blocks all the way up this bay and then across the ceiling and down that bay. They're not directly lined up with each other, but they're lined up with where the wall goes. The wall will go from this sliding glass door. It's going to come in 3 inches. We'll go somewhere about right here, so when it goes up, it'll catch basically just the other side of the truss here. So it'll be from about here over, catch these blocks, and we can get everything nailed off and secure inside of there. The only other blocks I really should still do is I should come down with a set of blocks here for the backing for the water closet, because it's coming over and back into here. I don't know the exact width, but I imagine it's going to be somewhere about in here. So yeah, I think we'll go ahead and throw in 3 blocks here too. So any of you that have seen our previous videos, you know the one thing I hate to do is carry supplies from down where we park up to the cabin, which is way up there. Not way up there, but when you got to carry this much insulation, it seems like way up there. Okay, love, here's some towels. Here's some towels. my turn with the camera. Eleinne was outside doing the stove for a while, so she had the camera, she was recording that. She did an amazing job with it. It looks awesome. So now I am inside, and I'm going to show you the insulation I've been putting up. The insulation's done, it's all up, but now I'm putting the plastic on, the vapor barrier. This is a 6mm plastic, and I'm doing it so that it basically will only be 5 sheets. Each wall, the 4 walls will be 1 sheet, and the ceiling will be 1 sheet. And so we put those on, staple them off, and then around, I don't know if you can see up here, around the entire perimeter and around all the doors and windows, we put a polyurethane door and window sealant on. It's just extra moisture barrier. Also, these will be the actual walls while we're living in here for the first probably month or so, month and a half maybe. So we're slowly just going to be building everything. We were going to wait and get it done to move in, but it's getting too cold. It's getting cold in the tent, so we want to move in right away. The walls will be slowly done while we're in here. And that'll be a good indoor project once it starts to get cold. So once we move in, we'll continue to work on stuff on projects outside until it's just too cold to do so. Then we'll move back inside and start finishing off the walls and all that. So right now I'm going to finish hanging this plastic. I'm going to keep going on that. It is kind of a pain in the butt alone, and Eleinne is going to help me later, but she has been working on the stove, getting that ready, because that was a necessity to get that done. We have some friends coming over in a few days, going to help us lift it into the cabin, and now she's making me lunch. So yeah, so while she's doing that, we're going to keep going. In this corner. Let me show you what we're doing. We're going to be under it. We can get going.
The houses in Vegas, do they have insulation like this too? Huh? The houses in Vegas, do they have insulation like this too?
They have the insulation, but they don't have this plastic.
Why is that?
It's so dry, this plastic. The plastic's for moisture barrier.
Mm.
And it's not moist enough there to need any kind of barriers.